pharmaceutical.
Yes. Yeah, I did biochemistry.
Okay, yeah, look at that.
That's awesome. I love
60
How
that.
cool.
peptides. Yeah.
Small world. Isn't that funny? So are you still there, or are you still working with the No.
Nope. I started working from home, and then I moved back to be closer to family, and then they were making some of the requirements a little crazy. So I'm working in just a law firm doing medical analysis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so after I left the patent office, then I worked for 10 years for a couple of different, patent IP research, searching firms.
Makes sense.
And all of it remotely, which was awesome. So I could go anywhere.
Yeah, but with pandemic, they shut down Center City, so I've been working from home a year now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are still working at the patent office, or not at the patent office, but they work remote.
Yeah, same. Maybe about half from the academy.
Mm-hmm.
That we're in my art area. Interesting.
Yeah. That's so cool? I love it.
I love
It's
it.
very interestingly. I'm just going to interrupt you ladies briefly.
Sure.
Welcome, first of all. So we are streaming live on YouTube. This is my first time trying it on the YouTube. I did it on Facebook Live a couple of times, so I kind of nailed that down. So today's challenge is to do it via YouTube. So it looks like once I turn the YouTube on, now I'm just seeing the YouTube screen, so my audio might not be that great. And also Peely, I'm going to say it right, is our co-host today. So she may periodically check to see if anybody wants to join the Zoom room. I kind of was hoping my mom would join us. I think she may. So hopefully we can keep an eye out for her. So I do want to thank you ladies for being here. I'm going to try and check out this audio so I can make sure I'm hearing us better, but it seems like the runtime is a little slightly off. And it's like one of those learning curve things. Let's see. See, where's my tech person when I need a tech person?
It says that you're live on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I'm totally live, but the timing of the audio is a little off, but I think it's okay. So
on my end, it sounds perfect.
Oh, cool. So I'll just follow along. So thank you again for joining us. So periodically I'll do these tea times. It just was an idea in my head of something to do for ladies to kind of unwind with tea and also talk about life and, the doTERRA brand, things that are going on in doTERRA, and just to be, have interesting things to talk about. I think this week we definitely have a lot of things to talk about. And I wanted to have a special guest today, and thankfully Peely Bailey was gracious enough to agree to join us as a special guest. And I say she's a special guest because she's not in our immediate doTERRA line. She is a doTERRA wellness advocate. She's been a wellness advocate for 5 years with the brand. She's a mom. She's a scientist. She's a yoga business owner. She's got a whole platform going. She's going to talk a little bit to us today, hopefully more about kind of some of the history of yoga going back to Africa and Egypt, which I think is amazing. I know nothing about that. But I want to say, just in terms of that, when I started doing yoga, it was probably about 12 years ago. And for me, I like to do yoga with my eyes closed the whole time innately. And when I started doing it, I just felt it was very natural to me. And people would ask me, like, how long have you been doing yoga for? And I'd be like, I've never done it before. So I hope it's coming from the essence of my ancestors that I'm able to enjoy it so much. So everyone, go around and say how you're doing, what you're up to. Also, what kind of tea you're drinking today. And if you're doing anything with oils today so far, you can share about your oils, what you're doing with oils today so far. Thank you. Start with you, Peely.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Catherine, for inviting me. Let's see. So in terms of my oils today, I actually just came back from the park with my son, and a woman stopped me and she's like, "Are you wearing patchouli?" And I always feel a little bit hesitant when somebody, because sometimes there seems to be a love or hate relationship with patchouli for some people. And so I'm always kind of like, I don't know if I want to admit that I'm wearing the patchouli, but yes, I was wearing the patchouli. I love patchouli because it is an oil that really helps me to I use it with my clients when they feel disassociated from their body. So when you're feeling like totally disconnected from your body, you're totally in your head, cycling thoughts, not really able to be embodied, patchouli really, really helps. And so as a person that struggles with anxiety and just being in my head because I'm an intellectual person, patchouli is something that I feel like is a daily regimen. And then also my face oil, I always use the Immortelle, which I feel like is a double whammy, right? Because I think it has patchouli in there. It also has, what is it? The frankincense, the sandalwood, it has vetiver, like all these really yummy nutrient oils for your skin, but it also are oils that help to calm anxious feelings and emotions. So those are my like absolute go-tos. And then right now, I always have my roller of Adaptive. Adaptive has become my new bestie. And I use it for, it's always with me. And all of the little adaptive system that has become just a everyday absolute necessity. And then today I'm drinking my happy tea. So this is my, it's a tea that is, has like the cofactors that helps your body to produce happy chemicals. So dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, epinephrine. And so I love it. And it's Georgia peach is the flavor.
Ooh, my favorite.
So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm drinking. I'll pass it over to Erica.
Thank you. So I actually don't have any tea that I'm drinking at the moment. Although I do love drinking hot tea. And I've been thinking about adding turmeric to it recently because I've been reading or learning a lot about turmeric, and I think that it could be really helpful to me. So I think that combining it with tea, I think would be a really good area for me. So anyway, what I am drinking is I finished my coffee earlier, and I have my motivating water bottle. So I'm just drinking some of that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, some days are better than others, but it definitely has gotten me in the mindset of like, gotta drink the water, gotta do this. So, yeah, and when it comes to, yeah, when it comes to oils, so I'm in my basement right now, and I have a diffuser like all over the house. So I have one down here, and I've been so it's not diffusing anymore because it stopped, but I was diffusing Passion, which is one of my favorite blends. Yeah, Mindy, you laugh because you know that I told you about that one and how much I
wanted to rip off my shirt when I smelled it.
Oh my God, you're hilarious. But I diffuse it a lot, like when I'm like working from home, but days when I'm kind of looking to get a little bit inspired. Well, I'm definitely feeling inspired today. Probably maybe a combination of things, but I'm sure the Passion probably is contributing to it. But so I'm in my basement. You can see behind me there's a lot of games because my husband is a gamer. That is his big hobby. In his downtime when he's not working as an engineer, he's, collecting board games. He's part of this board game group. He's hosting game night. Yeah. So that's
intense, huh?
It is, but everyone really needs like that outlet, and that's like that outlet for him. And
do you join him in this outlet?
Okay, so what's hilarious is that his mom, my mother-in-law, is the one who introduced me to doTERRA. Arlene, yes, Arlene Walters.
Arlene.
Yep. And so our last names are, sometimes people might not make the connection because she's Arlene Walters. and Erica Gordon, married to Jared Gordon. Anyway, but she is his mom, and
Erica.
she introduced me. Yeah.
Erica, tell us, because I love the name of your platform. Tell us the name of your platform again.
Okay. So my new blog and platform, what I'm doing is called Hot Mess on a Health Quest.
Amen.
And it's really basically like it started from, well, I don't know. How do I make a long story short? I'm so wordy. But anyway, I started the blog
we're gonna actually
I'm sharing my story. What's that?
We're gonna hand it off to Mindy. We're just doing intros right now.
Oh my God. Sorry. I was totally getting off. Yeah.
I love it. I'm motivated. We're all motivated.
I'm here at the dollar store, and some chocolate jumped into my basket. I'm here for the purpose of buying samples, bottles, so that I can head over to Erica's hopefully soon, who's my sister-in-law, but she's my sister-in-law. And I saw that someone is using some, was it root to tip oils and like some conditioner. I had no idea doTERRA made that product. Erica gave me my first oils Thanksgiving dinner. We were spaced, 20 feet apart. Poor Jared, we couldn't pass the potatoes. Jared had to like get up and serve us, across the table. So, so I'm here for a purpose of getting more samples so that I can try the products. And last night I got on my website for the first time and changed my name to the Zoo Lady because I volunteer at Philadelphia Zoo. And I just got done I'm in the parking lot because I just got done at the restaurant having lunch with friends talking about getting into the oils. And she made 100 on the back of the receipt. She just made $100 purchase, my lunch friend, $100 purchase using the Zoo Lady doTERRA website that I built last night.
Oh, that's great.
My first sale.
I know. You got me really excited.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah. So what she wanted, she heard about On Guard. She liked the way that the aroma of On Guard, and she didn't know about the additional products. So I upsold her 4 bottles of mist and 1 box of sanitary wipes.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm going to Mindy's business school.
I know about this website. Like,
I know you'll be teaching all of us soon.
Well, for me, let me weigh in. I am drinking hazelnut cookie, and it comes loose, so I needed a strainer for that. So that's that. Hopefully you can see that. And I've got a few cookies here. I haven't used a lot of oils today because I'm at the tail end of a 3-day conference. And so I'm actually in one of my shared office spaces here in Thomaston, Connecticut. It's called Connecticut Shared Office Space. So I do have I have a diffuser here, and I actually have the humidifier here. So I did diffuse lemon and peppermint because I only had a few oils I brought down here with me. I did that in the diffuser. And I was in a rush to get back on my 3rd day of conference. So I didn't even do all my whole regimen like I normally did. I put a little Beautiful on, and I also use the natural deodorant. So that's kind of what I did with doTERRA products today. And I've been in conference all day. And that ended at like 3:55. So I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, it was a great conference. So, in terms of the conference, and it's great having you ladies here because, when it comes to business, even whether it's doTERRA or other things, the conference really spoke to how women have really been left out of business. And also how, from a financing point of view and capital supports, that women really have been left out of the game. And that's why, we may face some of the challenges that we face being in business, whether it's doTERRA or any other kind of business. So I'm going to bring it back around to Peely. So I want to hear from you, Peely, about your 5-year journey through doTERRA and what's going on with your business.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's a big question. So I found doTERRA 5 years ago, and it was definitely out of a need. My one of my really close friends, she is a nurse, and she had gone to a peri anesthesiologist nursing conference in San Diego, where she met her upline, which is now our upline. And she found out about doTERRA. And so I went to go visit her, she was actually a mom. She was pregnant and on bed rest. So I went to go visit her, help her out at home. And she's like pouring through this modern essentials guide of essential oils. And like, she's like, you got to see this, And so I start kind of flipping through it. And I had already been an essential oil user, like from way back, like when I was in Virginia working at the patent office. I was the patchouli smelling, street oil girl. Like that was my deodorant. I had long dreadlocks, I was always like hippie. And so showed it to me. I was like, oh, this is really great. I didn't know that there were so many different uses. So I just absolutely love that. So then she gave me a modern essential oils guide, and I just like nerded out on it, So my background is in chemistry, and when I worked at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, I really looked at pharmaceuticals, and a lot of them were patterned after natural products. That once they found the natural product, then they synthesized it. And my background is in organic chemistry, so I would always do the patents that were synthesizing the molecules, and then looking at how they were patterning things after natural products, and then creating them in the lab so that they could get a patent on it, so that they could then put it into pills, so that then we can take them internally. Well, my brain went, well, if I can get this from the plant, why not get it from the plant? So I was always super open to that. I think it was probably because my mom was like a health nut before that was popular. Like before Whole Foods, there was Mrs. Gooch's here in California, and like we were always there. Our sandwiches at school, nobody ever wanted to trade lunch with us. It was like and like hummus before it was cool.
Hold on a second. Did you have sprouted bread first? And you said
my mom was with it before, but of course I did not appreciate it then. I was just like, this is weird. I want Wonder Bread, but I'm grateful now. And, my son doesn't know any difference, because he's getting the sprouted bread, he's getting all the good things, and he just loves it. He eats it up. So, taking it aside, but the whole idea of train up a child the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. Like that is like reality, right? Like my mom gave us a good foundation on health. And so back to my,
say just in terms of that statement, a lot of people might not know that statement, but for me, that's a common statement that's used in the African-American community.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just like, that's just what it is, right? Everybody doesn't like that. So my friend showed me essential oils, and I was actually struggling with some postpartum depression at that point. And, we started looking at, okay, well, are there any oil supports? And so I went into her little guide, and I was like, oh, it looks like clary sage. Okay, cool. So I went to Whole Foods. Okay, and I got some sage. And so I call her up, and I'm so excited, and I tell her about that. And I was like, look what I did. And she's just like, all right, I'm going to be sending your husband home with a bottle, like a little sample of clary sage. Just try it out. See what you think, And when I smelled the clary sage, first of all, I had a completely different experience than what I was having with the sage. The sage was nice. But when I smelled the clary sage, it was like I could feel the tension just literally melt off my shoulders.
What? Yeah, I'll write that down too.
I was like, okay, this is something that I really need to look into. So, in addition to that, as a yoga teacher, and just after having my son, like I ended up, having a C-section. So my back was in pain. I was having a lot of just pain. So I was taking 800 milligrams of ibuprofen every single day. because I was in so much pain. And so she introduced me to Deep Blue.
Yep.
And Deep Blue became my answer to everything, right? So I did not have to take those things that I was taking internally. I could use this topically. And I really loved the oil in particular. The oil, even just smelling the oil, helped me with just settling my mind and just feeling more connected to my body. And so Deep Blue, Clary Sage, those were my introductions into doTERRA, and that made me go, there's something different here. And so, you know, I was that person that was like, I don't want to join your business, so I'm going to pay retail. Or, you know, we all know how much, okay, so anyway, so I was like, I'm going to pay retail. And, you know, she was very, very wonderful with me, because she's like, fine, that's fine, whatever you want to do. And so after I was ready to, you know, buy again, I was like, oh, so I bought 2 oils for the price of what I could have gotten a kit of 10 oils. And then when I looked at the kit of 10 oils, and I was like, those are some little bottles. And I knew that the little bottles, I was going to need more than that. So then I looked at the kit that had the bigger bottle, the 250 drops per bottle, right? And I was like, this makes sense. And I needed a diffuser too. So after I had gone through the process of trying the oils, knowing that there is a definite difference in terms of quality, in terms of reproducibility of results, and after I had bought retail, right, because I was like, I don't want to be a part of anybody's business, I recognized the value that doTERRA gives when you become a member. And so it all just made sense to me. And so I became a member. And at that point, there was only one membership. It was Wellness Advocate. So whether you chose to do a business or not do a business, you were still a wellness advocate. So that was how I came in 5 years ago. And I told my best friend, I will never do this as a business, so don't ever ask me.
Why do you think you felt that way? And what made you overcome that kind of thinking?
You know, I think it was from my days back in, you know, I also used to work for a church. I was a worship director and a prayer minister there. And it was like everybody and their mama was inviting me to somebody's party to sell me something, right? Okay. And so I just didn't want to be a part of that, you know what I mean? So that was what I thought. You know, I think a lot of times in churches, you'll find that there are many women who are choosing to have businesses from home, and then just by nature of being in the church, you get invited to all these things, especially if you are a lay minister in the church or whatever. So I just was kind of like, nope, don't want any parts of it. And I didn't really know. So I didn't really know the value of the industry, you know, the value of social networking and sharing and helping people to understand the value of linking arms with other people, women in particular, and being able to support each other in business. I didn't understand the value of creating a network and a community that you could have in all times and phases of your life. I didn't understand what I was being offered, so I said no. And a lot of people do. And what changed for me was using the products. What changed for me was, even though I told my friend on Monday, don't ever ask me to build this business because I never will, on Tuesday, I called my mama, I called my aunties, I called my friends. I was like, you gotta get these oils. Call my girlfriend over here. So I just kept sending people to her. And so on Friday, she calls and she's like, you know, you keep telling all these people you do have your own website, because when you signed up as a member, you had your own website. They could go to your website and you could benefit from that. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I'll look into this business. And so, at that point, there wasn't a whole lot of training. There wasn't a whole lot of guidance from doTERRA corporate. It was people who had started doTERRA, like, from day one that were kind of doing, I found a compensation plan video somebody had on YouTube. There's so much information on YouTube, but I just deep dive, like I went in.
Yeah.
And I would call my friend and I'd be like, hey, did you know this? Hey, did you know we could look at this? And so she basically had to start building the business because I was so excited, so energized. And so like, let's go. We got to tell people, and it just made sense to me. And then also I loved the fact that doTERRA is a science company, that they have, scientists and a medical board, and they are engaged in doing the research that will substantiate and really provide, clinicians and other scientists with verified information that can show them how powerful these tools are. And so for me, I love chemistry and I love biochemistry in particular. My undergrad is in biochemistry, my grad degree is in organic chemistry. And, working at the US Patent and Trademark Office, I was just very much in this, it was a perfect fit for me. I got it, I understood it, and I wanted to teach as many people about it as I could. So I, started hosting classes and teaching and telling people, and lots of my friends were yoga hippie people as well, so they were down, and then I started to
hold on, yoga hippie people. I gotta write that one down too.
Hippie people, yes.
Our California.
That this was open for everyone, not just the fringe, not just the alternative health people, but like when you really get a chance to see how these oils can benefit you on all the different levels. And so, me as a yoga therapy trained yoga teacher, so I am looking at my clients on 5 levels of their system. So in the yoga philosophy, we consider our bodies not just as, we have a computer, our brain is our computer, we're downloading the information into we consider 5 levels of the human system. So we have the physical body, we have the breath layer, that breath body, breathing. We have the mental and emotional layer. We have the layer of our personality, those pieces of us that make us who we are. And then we have that subtle layer, that intangible layer, that layer that is connected to all, right? It's that spark of life, right? That was created in us when we came together in our mother's womb. So essential oils really helps you to connect to all those different layers, right? You could have the essential you have the essential oil for your physical, right? So that's the first thing, right? We're very connected to this physical layer with the things that are manifested. When you breathe in the aroma of an essential oil, well, now you're connecting to the breath, right? And then once you breathe in that oil, well, now you're connected to your olfactory system, that's then connected to your limbic system, which is the state of your emotions. So now we've just gone from the physical to the breath body, and now we've gone into the mental and emotional body, right, with those essential oils. And I have had the experience that when I've been really in an anxious place in my emotions, of opening a bottle of essential oil and just really feeling like the release and the relief.
Like the tension just starts to go right out of your neck.
Goes. And then if you start to look at the, so this is where it gets a little woo, because some people don't believe in, that they have a spirit or anything like that, and that's fine. But there isn't, if you want to tap into that place, there are oils for that, like frankincense, the king of oils, like sandalwood, that's an oil for meditation. I talked about
you said cedarwood?
I didn't say that yet, but cedarwood is also one. So
Oh.
frankincense, sandalwood.
Oh,
Sandal.
Yes, sandalwood. Erica, love it, huh? It's the
Yes,
best.
it's like my favorite oil. Yep.
Sandalwood is so good. And,
I haven't tried.
these are oils that for centuries have been used for spiritual practices. So when you start to look back at indigenous cultures where a lot of these oils have come from, where a lot of this use of plant medicine originated, you start to recognize that, oh, there was a reason that they chose to burn frankincense and myrrh, right? There was a reason that frankincense and myrrh was this precious oil that was given, if you are within the Christian system and you're, those stories, frankincense and myrrh given to the baby Jesus, right? There is a reason that spikenard was the oil that was used for Jesus before, at the Passover, before the burial that Mary Magdalene gave, so if that is your system, and it doesn't have to be, but recognizing that these oils connect to spirit. So just really seeing the power of oils from a yogic lens has added depth to my practices of spirituality, my physical practice, and when I work individually with women in my yoga therapy practice.
Wow.
So I think I gave you a nutshell of everything. Let's see, did I answer all your questions?
Wow. I mean, I don't even know if we had questions, but that was like a deep dive that I just loved. I mean, I'm like, when you're taking notes, I don't usually take notes during tea time, but a couple of things I wanted to weigh in on with you. Circling back around to the patchouli, you started off saying that's something that you had on today. And I just want to share this briefly. I just got patchouli, and my sister was over to my house, and I said, "Do you have patchouli?" And she goes, "Yeah, I have patchouli," because my sister's like, she wants every single oil. And I said, I smelled it, and I said, it smelled like Dr. Goldman. He was our pediatric doctor. And she's like, "Yeah, I think so." And I was just like, that is so bizarre. So I've been diffusing patchouli for half of this week. And it's like, every time I go past my living room, I'm just like, I loved my pediatric doctor growing up. So it's like, it's funny. And I had read that it was good for relieving tension. So I thought, my son's back at home, I thought it was a good week to diffuse that around the living room area. And then I just wanted to weigh in also with you, Erica. You talked about the turmeric. I know for me, I bought like a turmeric and ginger tea, and it's specifically a turmeric and ginger tea. So it's already infused into the tea. And I was like kind of reluctant, because I always associate turmeric with my chicken, cooking chicken, fish, and things like that. But I've actually enjoyed the tea so far. So there's definitely teas out there that I think could support with that. And then obviously we have the turmeric essential oil, so you could always put a drop of that in any of your teas. So that's always a way to go too.
Yeah, the tea that you have, is that the doTERRA? I know that
No.
doTERRA has an infused tea.
No, it's not a doTERRA tea. We have like a natural whole food store here, not too far from where I live. And my sister actually sells for soap there. And I went through like their tea section one day, and I just was picking out all different types of ones that I wanted. And that just so happened to be one. Like, oh, I'll try that.
Yeah. And I was going to say, with the turmeric, so there's a sister science to yoga, which is called Ayurveda. And that is really the science of healthy eating, healthy living, lifestyle medicine. And they're, the two, yoga and Ayurveda, are, combined as a way of having a whole system. And so one of the teas, or one of the drinks that can be prescribed sometimes, would be a golden milk.
Golden milk?
The golden milk, if you were to look that up, has turmeric, has black pepper, has, I want to say cardamom. And, I don't drink cow's milk, but, I have found that it tastes really good in almond milk and any of the other alternative milks that you might enjoy. And so you can make those. And I have made that with Because I wanted it to be golden, I added like actual turmeric powder. And then I used a drop of black pepper, essential oil, a drop of cardamom, essential oil, because the black pepper helps the turmeric, I don't know if it's the curcuminoids or if it's the tumerones or whatever, but basically within the black pepper, they have the beta caryophyllene, which is one that's going to be all over body relaxing chemical constituent. And then within the turmeric, there is in the dried turmeric, I want to say that's the tumerones. And then within the oil, you have the curcuminoids. And so the supplement that doTERRA came out with, the reason why it is so powerful is because you have that twofold combination of the curcuminoids and the tumerones together. And so
some of the ladies might not know what you're talking about when you talk about the turmeric capsule. Because I know they talked about it at conference, but I know Mindy's new, and I'm not sure about Erica.
Okay, so they have a turmeric, doTERRA has a turmeric supplement. And within that, it's a dual capsule. So one side has oil in it and the other side has the powder. And I believe that when they were talking about it was that 2 years ago? Or was that no, that was 2 years
ago. In September.
It was just September? Okay, so when they were talking about when it first came out, I don't remember if it came out this past September or the September before, but when they first came out with it, that's what they were talking about, the fact that they found that there was a synergy by using the oil and the powder together. And so the way they have encapsulated it, it's enterically coated, so that I got from the patent work, which means that when you take it in your body, it goes into your digestive system before it opens up. So then you're actually it's not going to, get destroyed in your stomach acids.
Huh.
It's a cool, doTERRA,
so where does
their science background, and because of what they're doing, they're so far ahead of all of these other essential oil companies. The direction that they're going in is really purposeful, and it's very powerful, And so in terms of how I use doTERRA in my business, it's for my clients because I'm working one-on-one with women and I'm doing individual yoga with them. It's not like you come to a group yoga class and you just get in where you fit in. It's like, what does your specific body need? What are you needing for your mental and emotional health? What do you need for your physical health? And what kind of lifestyle changes do you need to make to maintain that? And so what's lovely about doTERRA is that they have so much wonderful education and information about how their products support you. And also, it's a really good fit when I'm working with my clients to be able to say, okay, you can take this with you. Right? You don't, when we're not working together, you can be doing this every single day to maintain a balance of mental and emotional ease.
Yeah,
so that's why my business is called Essential Yoga Space, right? Because I found that there's a synergy between, individualized yoga, so that's yoga therapy, and individualized essential oil use, which is aromatherapy. You put those two together and it's a powerful combination.
Wow. Let me go back for a second with you on that technical, because I'm not a science or tech type person, but you mentioned the capsule that it stays intact until it gets into your digestive system. Where exactly does that break down? Just for a layman's point of view.
In your intestine.
Oh, within the intestinal area. Okay. And then that's where you maximize your absorption within the intestinal walls, I guess, more or less. I don't know.
So that's where when your food gets processed, it spends the most time in your intestines because that's where the water is going to get absorbed from there. The nutrients are going to get absorbed. It goes through slowly so that it can all be put into your blood and go through and circulate. And then everything that's left in there goes out, right? The stuff that your body's got, we don't need to use this anymore, goes out. And that's the way we were designed. So it's a really great system.
I love that. Oh, you have such a dynamic culmination of backgrounds, with your science background, you're a mom, of course, and then, your passion for yoga and the levels to which you've really drilled down into yoga is, I've never even talked to anybody before, like even just at a yoga studio. I mean, I have a really great former yoga instructor, and he actually was a family therapist. I've talked to him a little bit one-on-one about family issues, talking about mental and emotional issues with him. But I mean, to really, just to kind of wed those worlds together, like, it's dynamic. It's a real blessing that we have you, say the least.
Yeah, well, it's my passion, and I think we become what we need the most. Right? So everything that I have learned, it's through the practice, through my own practice and the own journey of self-discovery and of learning, right? And constantly being a learner. And then, the challenges of life come to teach us, right? And so all of the challenges and the pain, like in yoga philosophy, we accept pain as purification, right? So we all know, like, if there's something that's hard, you're going through a rough season in life, that you can either fight it and resist it, or you can look for, okay, what is the lesson here? What is it that I'm here to learn? How am I going to move forward? How do I uncover the gifts out of the ash, right? The beauty out of the ashes. How will I find that? And so that is really when you start to get into yoga is more than just postures. Yoga is a whole system of self-understanding and also where you fit in the world. So of world understanding and just, I mean, there's so much, and as I'm getting deeper into it, and I can tell you that because of my background in and my Christian lens that I have always looked through life on, I was scared of yoga for a long time. And I won't get into the story of that, but I'll just let you know that there was a point when I totally gave up yoga because of my Christian faith. And then as I worked with my Christian faith and I came back around, I was led back into yoga. And now I fully understand why, and that there really isn't something to be afraid of, but something to really embrace. Because it's just the science of knowing who you really are. And that's like, everybody wants to know that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, because that's deep and personal. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there are some people who would shy away from yoga because they think it's just a religious practice or something like that.
Yeah. And so my journey, because, I could say that, I have been a God person since I opened my eyes on this planet, right? Like, I remember being, 5 years old and kind of looking up at the sky and really conceptualizing the idea of God and the idea of me being connected or being able to connect with God, and just really hearing, like, these things have always been just truth for me. And then to kind of come around and kind of understand these other systems, so in the yoga philosophy, which I did not want to know anything about when I first came into being a yoga teacher, and I was actually working at the US Patent and Trademark Office, which I know that Mindy and I have that connection. But when I was working there, I found my first yoga class downstairs at the gym inside of the US Patent and Trademark Office. And that was the beginning of my journey. I started teaching yoga there at the US Patent and Trademark Office. And then I ended up leaving the US Patent and Trademark Office to work for a church, right? And do music there. Like, it was a complete shift. And I went from, technical to very, ethereal and esoteric and mystical, right? And then to come back and feel like the journey to finding doTERRA, to finding essential oils, and to really establishing the virtual wellness center, which is Essential Yoga Space, it's all a culmination of all the different pieces of myself and all the journey that I've been on. And so now to understand the philosophies of yoga with that lens, there's so much power and there's so much liberation that is available there. And I'm just grateful to be able to be a light on the path for someone else.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm just gonna give you a hand clap, even though we're in the middle of a Zoom. I just think that's phenomenal. And you know, when you do these Zoom conversations, ladies, you know, Erica, Mindy, I know you're getting into a lot more of the social media. You know, you try to have a preliminary discussion with whomever it is you might be going on, you know, these discussions with. So Peely and I really only had a short discussion, and these things are kind of free flow because it's tea time. So you just want to have like a chat. So I'm just kind of really blown away because we really didn't talk about much of any of this stuff in our kind of getting to know you prep session. But that's what's, you know, good and organic about, you know, when you're connecting with people, I think, in the community who may be like-minded, who might want this as a lifestyle choice, is to just kind of make that connection and be out there, because we all know the value of these products. I'm celebrating my 1-year anniversary this month, and my girlfriend Cheryl, she's been in the business 7 years. I know she was my Mary Kay lady. That's the backstory, right? 25 years ago. We just stayed friends ever since. And you know, finally, she went to Africa, and I said, you know, Cheryl, what's going on with you in Africa? And she said, it's the essential oils. And I said, you've got to tell my community of divorced women like what this is all about. Like totally like, I don't get it. I've heard about these essential oils a couple of times, but I don't really understand it. And here I am 1 year later celebrating my 1-year anniversary in the business. And like, thank you. And like Peely said, you know, I was a lot like her when I first got it. I was like, oh my God, you got to try this. Oh my God, this is amazing. You know, oh my God, you know, the one drop in the hand, you know, and all that. Even though it was the height of these changing times that we were in, because I just started last March. But I just saw right away, like the value of how these products were helping me. And I want to make sure that people in my community also see the value in these products and trying them and their historical significance. I mean, they're not new. It's just that we in Western culture have been removed from, you know, these products, and they're coming back to us. And I think we're going in that direction. And as women in business, you know, just continue to have that passion regardless of where we go in business. Thankfully for me, in the short time I've been in, we have these ranks. At first I was like, I don't care about ranks. I just want the products. But in terms of from a business perspective, I am happy to say that I have reached elite a number of times, because you have to kind of do it every month after month. But at the end of the day, it really is about connecting people to the products. And so one of my favorite ways to do that is through the care packages. I know Mindy was showing that she's getting those bottles together. So I really just enjoy making sure that people get exposed to these products, you know, and at the end of the day, if they can afford it, because some people really can't afford it. But for those who can, like I think it's benefiting them. And I just think that this has been a great time, and I can't believe it's been a year already.
Of helping people who think they can't afford it, like, because that was the thing that, you know, really the price tag got me initially to be like, nope, I don't want to, you know, I'm going to go to Whole Foods and I'm going to buy it over there, or I'm going to go buy it at, you know, Costco. Please don't go buy your oils at Costco, people. But so like just the idea of getting it somewhere else, and I'm going to get it, you know, cheaper or whatever. It's like, well, you get what you pay for a lot of times. And then also the reproducibility, right? So if you're looking at using something to help manage some aspect of your being, you want to know that every time you go to that bottle, you're going to get that same result. At least I do, right? Like that is what I want. So understanding that the price tag on doTERRA is the science. It is the commitment to the fact that if the oil does not have the right chemical constituents that we've come to know and to trust, doTERRA won't even put it on the market. When I first came into doTERRA Melissa oil, which is like one of the most precious oils, and I can tell you that this year I am worth every drop of Melissa oil. I buy that, I use it every single day, okay, because I am worth it, and it has some really great properties to help you to counteract environmental threats. And so I am worth.
Wait, hold on. Let me stop you. How do you use the Melissa? I'm just curious.
Well, you know, you can put a drop on your thumb. You can put it on the roof of your mouth. I just put it on my, you know, where my lymph nodes are.
Oh, okay. I do
also,
a drop on my tongue when I feel like I need to take it.
Yeah. So for us, we're in the LA area where, you know, the epicenter, or where, you know, it got real red over, you know what I mean? Like in terms of the
pollution
of the virus. Okay. And so for me, I just wanted to protect myself, my family, clean my air, make sure that things were supported as best they can so that my immune system would do what it's designed to do. And so Melissa oil is one of those oils that is really powerful. But what I was going to say was there was a year where they did not have any Melissa oil for sale because the crop, something happened with the crops. They tested the oil. It was not up to standard and they did not put it on the market. So they did the same thing with chamomile. So there was that time when you could not get your hands on a bottle of Melissa or a bottle of Roman chamomile. So if you can get yourself a bottle of that, you should get yourself a bottle of that, because you don't know what's going to happen from year to year.
Well, like I said, I've been in 1 year, and one of the great things is that periodically they'll have the buy one, get one. So that's for me when I was able to make that level of investment, because they had a buy one, get one week where both Melissa and Roman chamomile were in the BOGO. And matter of fact, I think it was buy the Melissa and get the Roman chamomile free for that one particular day. So for someone like Mindy, you might not know about that, but we have those BOGOs once in a while. We actually only have 2 more minutes left in this tea time. So, you know, we can stay on afterwards, but I'm going to end the YouTube. So if anybody wants to stay on afterwards and continue chatting, that's fine. But I will end the YouTube in like 2 minutes. So any final parting words, ladies? I hope you're enjoying this tea time.
Yeah, this was my first time coming to it, to any of your events, and I loved it. And it was I gained so much great information. Love meeting you, and I really feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm actually finally starting to get excited and like this sense of inspiration, because I'm someone who struggles with that, and my mindset, and so that's been a huge thing for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and and I'm glad that Mindy was here too.
Yeah,
I love that, Erica. I'm so glad you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mindy, were you going to say something?
No, just thank you for sharing your personal story. I think it's interesting, having only been in this a couple months, is it's more about the sharing, you know. Someone asked me, are you selling it? And I was like, no, you know, I'm just sharing it. She's like, but I want some stuff. I'm like, oh, I have a webpage.
Yeah. So that's an important distinction, right? So we want to say share because a lot of us hate that word selling. I think we need to kind of reset our mindset around the idea of what selling is, because we're all selling something, right? Even like when you were first dating your husband, like you were kind of selling a version of yourself, maybe. And so the idea is we're always helping other people to understand what is available to them, right? And if you are doing your job well, they will be grateful for what you are sharing. And you need to let them know that if you like what you've just heard, you can buy this here with me, right? That's the important distinction. And I did not have that in the beginning. I was very scared of that. I didn't want people to think, and especially with the service-based business that I have, you know, there's like this level of, you know, I am helping to hold space and be, a spiritual, guide or director. And then at the same time, I'm going, oh, and if you want, you can buy this beautiful frankincense over here. I had to really shift my mindset towards this is something that can really help you. And this is a exchange, right? I'm giving you great information, and at the same time, you're buying it from doTERRA, but it does benefit me. So it's like you get what you want from that space, and you get to help the person that just helped you to learn about it. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Right. Listening to Catherine's lecture, why not? Why not tap into benefiting financially when you're just sharing and helping people anyway?
Yeah, and like how I said before, like it's a business. Being in business it's muscle, right? You have to build up that muscle. And so with each thing that we can do together, we can continue to help support each other and build up each other's confidence and build those muscles so that we're going into situations and it's seamless. We're sharing. Hey, if you want to buy the products, great. But and when you're sharing, like you're already improving that person's life just by the fact that you share that one drop with them and they've had that one experience and they can learn and choose to go from there. So just final plugs. My plug for you guys is because it's my anniversary month, I have a couple other classes coming up. So I'm doing doTERRA Biz 2.0 again, March 27th. That'll be live. I'll probably do it on Facebook live again. And so it's going to be more Q&A this next time. I did one, whatever it was, last weekend, I think it was. That was saved. You can always go back and watch that one. So again, March 27th, I'll be doing that again. And I've got a couple other anniversary classes that we're doing. And, we have this supportive network. We're all part of a network. We're all part of a network marketing. And that's why we can all team up together and support one another through this, because we are of the same tribe, basically. And so we believe in this, and we're the ones who are going to support each other along the way to kind of introduce other people into this world, into this lifestyle. So thank you again. Peely, please give us some final parting words.
Yeah, so I am grateful. Thank you, Catherine, for allowing me to be here. You're like energizing me around. Whenever you get to tell your story with doTERRA, it always makes you remember, oh my God, I love this. I love it, So thank you for that. And yeah, my biggest desire is to be a help for any women who find themselves, struggling with, anxious feelings, having the stress of having kids at home, working from home, maybe even homeschooling. That's a new journey that I'm stepping into, and who want to be embodied and who want to be able to learn the practices of yoga to help them have more balance in life. So would love to have you come find me at essentialyogaspace.com or on Facebook at Essential Yoga Space, on Instagram at
Love
Essential.
it. Yes, ladies. All right, I'm going to sign off YouTube. If anyone decides they want to stay on, feel free. But I really appreciate you coming out. And this will be available on replay. Feel free to share it with your platforms. That's how we also get more exposure to our businesses, by sharing our social media with our networks and commenting and all that good stuff. So take care until the next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yay.
Cool. So yeah, and also listening from you all, I was remembering like you need to follow up. So like I did an event and a girl had to leave early because she had a migraine, and I had my peppermint there, and I was like, oh, put this on the back of your neck. And so that was Sunday. And then I remembered today to follow up with her. And it was really interesting because she said, not only did she find relief, but she appreciated the fact that I cared enough to follow up with her to see if she was okay. And I was like,
Wow.
that's the essence of these products. It's not selling them, it's like sharing them to make someone feel better, so it was so interesting that that's what her response was. And then I think I told you I did like a little massage party, and I had like my little fractionated oil, my bottle of fractionated oil, and I had my little oils out, and I just brought some that smelled really good, and I told the girls ahead of time, like, this is what I'm bringing. And we did little mixing, and we gave them to the guys to do our massage, COVID safe masks. And
I need to do this kind of party. Wait,
it was so much fun. And then, well, the first one we did, one of the guys put lavender in the mask, like you don't go to a massage parlor and usually, have the situation became like a spontaneous use of the oils. You know what I mean? Like before masks, who would have thought, oh, put a little bit in your mask, So, so that was really cool. And then we used up one of my sample bottles. So I poured some Breathe into it, and I followed up with that girl today, and she was like, oh my God, I use it all the time. She's going to run out.
Okay.
Yes, she will be right.
Did you know that?
Well, I know it says live, but I don't think technically we are, because the way the YouTube is kind of wonky.
Okay, because I wanted to check, so I put the link over onto YouTube, and our conversation is still being.
It is. Let me double check. I don't know how to get up. Oh yeah, it says stop live stream.